Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Let's begin with the headlines. Japan strengthens partnerships with African countries, tables $5.5 billion economic investment. Industry players posit sustainable production and well-being of workforce for resilient oil and gas industry. Police reforms. IGP Egbetokun approves upgrade of police facilities. The Japanese government is promising to reinforce partnerships with the African countries with about $5.5 billion in investments to tackle economic challenges and to aid development on the continent. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba made the commitment as the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development opened in Yokohama. State House correspondent Musbao Damahab reports that President Bola Tinubu expressed Nigeria's readiness to be one of Africa's representatives in the United Nations Security Council permanent seat category.
President Bola Tinubu at the Yokohama International Conference Center for the 2025 ticket, his first appearance on this platform of partnership. Japan, with support from the UN, World Bank and the African Development Bank, is expressing readiness to take partnership with Africa higher. As agreed here, such partnership has yielded some growth in Africa in the last 32 years. But then, challenges in the education, health and energy sectors, as well as infrastructural deficits and insecurity, remain in parts of the continent.
Tackling this crisis requires a clear focus not only on development for Africa, but on development with Africa. And I salute Japan for making this the focus of its cooperation with the continent.
Yet, African leaders believe in the reliability of collaboration with Japan toward the attainment of the African Agenda 2063 and its developmental efforts, which were slowed down by the COVID-19 experience.
We will be able to utilize SDGs as well as Agenda 2063 as a major driving force to solve African challenges. The probability to achieve these goals would depend on interdependency between countries. We are living in interdependency, and we have no option than multilateralism. When we acknowledge that fact, the probability of success will further be elevated.
Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba assures of more action to the Japanese government's promises to walk the distance along with African countries towards finding innovative solutions to challenges facing the continent, including women and youth capacity building, industrialization, and promotion of peace and security.
Now we are entering an era when solutions originating from Africa will save the international community, including Japan. Japan wishes to remain a reliable partner that works together, a trusted partner with Africa, providing solutions to one another. As proof of Japan's commitment to action, we would definitely put into action what we have promised.
President Bola Tinubu reported on Nigeria's success in the war against terrorism and insecurity, and why conversing Japan's support for Africa to intensify advocacy for UN Security Council reform, the Nigerian leader says his country is ready to serve as one of the continent's representatives in the Council's permanent seats category. In Yokohama, Musbao Damahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a delegation from the Ningbo Municipal People's Government of China has visited the Nigeria-China Parliamentary Friendship Group at the House of Representatives. This was to seek clear recommendations from parliaments on the most suitable locations in Nigeria to establish a sister city partnership with Nimbo. Ignatius Nkwo reports that the visit forms part of a growing wave of bilateral engagements driven by the Parliamentary Friendship Group.
While the National Assembly may be on recess, the pursuit of foreign investment for Nigeria is far from taking a break. A 6-man Chinese delegation arrived at the House of Representatives. The team representing Nimbo City in Zhejiang Province, China, was on a business mission, meeting with the Nigeria-China Parliamentary Friendship Group of the House of Representatives. Chairman of the parliamentary group, Jafaru Yakubu, described the engagement as a strategic step to deepen economic and developmental ties between the two nations, particularly in rural development, trade, agriculture, and industry. He recalled that the recent bilateral summit convened by the group created a rare platform to address challenging issues in Nigeria-China relations.
Nigeria is the biggest market for China. So that's the need why we convened for a summit, the first of the kind where a parliamentary arm of government, the legislature, has done a summit to bottle the neck of trade deficit. That's the trade volume between Nigeria and China.
Like to see how we can collaborate in the area of sports between Nigeria and China.
Leader of the Chinese delegation pledged readiness to invest in any Nigerian city recommended by the parliament.
So we'll see if there's any chance for us to collaborate on the development of the port operations.
Nimbo is a major port city in Zhejiang Province with over 600 seaports. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Industry players are standing firmly on the conviction that building a resilient oil and gas industry requires sustainable production capacity, well-being of the workforce, and a conducive and operating environment. These formed core messages at the opening of the Pengassan Energy and Labour Summit underway in Abuja. Joseph Otsen reports.
The summit provides a platform for players in the oil and gas industry to address intertwined challenges and their impact on the nation's economy.
From the creeks to offshore platforms, every worker deserves a secure environment, robust safety process, continuous training, advanced technologies, and transparent reporting.
Central to discussions is how to sustain Nigeria's rising crude oil production, which has grown from below 1 million barrels per day to about 1.8 million barrels daily.
And we need every available well to be brought to production as part of, our deliberate steps towards increasing production in this country. They already have licenses on my table seeking for extension. And I ask you a question, why should I extend the licenses of those people who haven't shown capacity?
Upgrading our existing pipeline as well as building new ones, upgrading our gas hubs as well as building new ones, and as you know, we are determined to make sure that our refineries work.
For the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammadu Megari Dingadi, favorable working conditions remain key to building a resilient economy.
Supporting skills development and upskilling for energy transition era, and supporting fair wages and ensure that every worker in this sector is protected, empowered, and given the opportunity to strive.
For 3 days, industry stakeholders will deliberate on this year's theme, building a resilient oil and gas sector in Nigeria, advancing health, safety, and environment, and environmental, social, and governance. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, and the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, have entered into a partnership aimed at promoting decent work and strengthening the ease of doing business in the country. The two organizations signed a memorandum of understanding to drive research and advocacy on legislation that protect worker rights, build capacity, and foster a safe and productive working environment. At the heart of the collaboration is support for businesses, particularly those in the informal sector, through initiatives such as business formalization, provision of grants, tax relaxation, and other policies designed to boost economic growth.
Workers thrive, businesses prosper, and society flourishes. Employers know that a competent, motivated workforce is the greatest asset any enterprise can have. Civil society knows that justice in the workplace is justice in the nation.
For you to grow, real economic growth, you have to get the informal sector to progressively be formalized. And they won't be formalized except you create that environment for them to formalize. And those environments and which our MOU has captured, are part of our advocacy, is removing regulatory bottlenecks, advocating for ease of doing business.
The Memorandum of Understanding is to run for an initial period of 3 years, subject to review. Acting Chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Kayode Oladele, has held strategic talks with the Managing Director of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, Aminu Umar Sadiq, in Abuja, as both agencies join forces to drive inclusivity in national investment initiatives. The meeting, held at the Commission's headquarters, focused on aligning the operations of the NSIA with the Federal Character Principle, a policy designed to promote fairness and equal representation across Nigeria's diverse regions. The two leaders discussed ways to ensure that investments-driven development projects reflect the country's diversity and reach underserved communities.
Together, we can develop a framework that ensures projects are distributed fairly across the Federation, that procurement processes give opportunities to businesses from all regions, including women, youth, and persons with disabilities, and that the jobs and skills generated by NSIA-funded projects are equitably shared among Nigerians.
Everybody is a shareholder in the institution, and therefore, irrespective of profitability, irrespective of traffic, irrespective of the willingness and ability to pay in certain jurisdictions of the country, it is fundamental, it is important that all Nigerians feel the impact of our institution.
The discussions mark a significant step towards institutional cooperation, and both the NSIA and the Federal Character Commission have committed to working closely in the coming months to develop joint strategies and monitoring systems. This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
Welcome back. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has approved the upgrade of the police medical section. to a fully fledged Directorate of Medical Services, in line with his vision for far-reaching reforms and commitment to the welfare of officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force. A statement by the force notes that the elevation places healthcare delivery at the heart of police welfare and operational efficiency, with the directorate set to institutionalize medical services, strengthen coordination, and improve preventive and emergency healthcare for serving and retired personnel, as well as host communities nationwide. The new directorate will be headed by the Force Chief Medical Director, supported by other directors and professionals to provide specialized oversight and modernize healthcare services. The IGP stresses that the initiative is both a welfare milestone and a strategic investment in national security. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has approved the creation of 2 area commands and the upgrade of 5 police stations to divisions in Benue State. Police Public Relations Officer Edet Udeme, in a statement, disclosed that the structural adjustments become necessary as a result of challenges that befell the command in the course of policing troubled local government areas. The 2 area commands created are Daudu Area Command and Naka Area Command, while the 5 police stations that have been upgraded to police divisions are Ayilamo, Yelwata, Jatoaka, Okpokolo, and Agan police divisions. The statement explains that Daudu Area Command shall supervise Guma, Daudu, Yelwata, and Agam police divisions, while Naka Area Command shall supervise Naka, Apa, Agatu, and Okpokolo police divisions. The Nigerian Army is repositioning its combat readiness through sustained training. Among these carefully designed strategic trainings is the Inter-Brigade Combat Proficiency Competition held at the 4 Special Forces Command, Doma, Nasarawa State. Achigili Magaji reports.
The competition, which is part of the Combat Readiness Proficiency, has participants drawn from 4 Special Forces Doma, Bauchi, and the FCT. Addressing the officers at the competition, the commander, 4 Special Forces Command, Doma, Major General Hilary Nzan, who was represented by the Chief of Staff, Brigadier General Murtala Abu Said. The training competition is to boost the combat proficiency of young officers, organizational skills, teamwork, and job proficiency.
This competition has been carefully planned as a critical part of professional development aimed at enhancing the physical fitness, mental alertness, leadership qualities, and tactical competence of our officers in the demand of contemporary military operations.
The commander stressed that the exercise is in line with the Chief of Army Staff Command philosophy of consolidating the transformation of the Nigerian Army into a well-motivated and combat-ready force, as it is organized to assess and sharpen the operational capabilities of the officers. He urged all the participating officers to take the competition seriously and abide by the rules and regulations. In his remarks, the commander, 401 Special Forces Brigade, Colonel Kolawole Bukoye, said the inter-brigade training competition will go a long way in equipping officers from all the brigades with the requisite techniques to confront emerging complex nature of warfare.
The events to be competed for during this competition include a 10-kilometer endurance race, physical fitness, obstacle crossing, weapon handling, and combat swimming.
The one-day training competition is expected to be sustained in line with the Chief of the Army Staff philosophy for the Nigerian Army. Achigil Magaji, NTN News.
Good governance, justice, inclusiveness, peace building, and strong institutions, as well as societal collaborative approaches, have been identified as key factors to ending threats to domestic peace and security in Nigeria. These formed core of the lecture delivered by renowned diplomat and former Chief of Staff to late President Muhammadu Buhari, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, to Warfare Course 9 participants, Naval War College, Nigeria. Paul Abel has details.
The warfare course 9 participants as part of their training at the operational level in this lecture on methods and processes to curbing and restoring peace and conflict resolution mechanism are told that a military solution may not thrive in all conflict situations as they are taken through the history of global conflicts. Approaches which include identifying the problem, sound business environment, equitable distribution of resources, respect for rights of others, and human rights capacity development, among others.
Lasting peace can only be brought in areas of conflict if there is good governance, if the whole nation and the whole society team together to end threats to domestic peace and security, and also very strong institutions.
Others are mechanisms for conflict resolution, namely negotiations, mediation, arbitration, litigation, collaboration, cultural diplomacy, and obstacles to conflict resolution.
In the peace process, we will always have spoilers. And as I said, some are homegrown, some are externally induced. The best approach is really, in my view, sticks and carrots. You isolate try to isolate the spoilers.
Here in South Africa, he received the highest national award conferred on a non-citizen.
Participants also engaged the guest lecturer in an interactive session on peacemaking and identifying spoilers in peace processes as they tapped from the more than 40 years experience of the diplomatic icon. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
This is the News at 10 on NTA News 24. Here's a recap of our top stories. Japan strengthens partnerships with African countries, tables $5.5 billion economic investment. Industry players posit sustainable production and well-being of workforce for resilient oil and gas industry. Police reforms. IGP at Betokun approves upgrade of police facilities.
This is NTA News 24.
The spotlight was on compassion, courage, and commitment as distinguished individuals and organizations were honored at the 2025 Humanitarian Service Diamond Awards. The event celebrated outstanding contributions to humanitarian causes in Nigeria, recognizing those who have gone above and beyond to serve the needs of the most vulnerable. Thomas Ogbetere reports that the awards aim to inspire a national culture of service and collective action.
2025 Humanitarian Service Diamond Awards was organized to honor change makers, transforming Nigeria's humanitarian landscape, and to celebrate organizations making significant contributions to the nation's humanitarian sector.
For the wealthy people, I think this is the right time that you can offer your own contributions and donations for these humanitarian aids.
A gathering that celebrates compassion, excellence, and service to humanity.
Humans who step forward with courage, compassion, and conviction to bring light where there is darkness.
To rise again and to place humanity at the top.
Some of the award recipients say the recognition will not only motivate them to intensify their efforts, but will also foster a broader culture of service, empathy, and compassion across the country.
Lots of people in the society who are weak, who are suffering, who are disabled, who are homeless, who are displaced.
An appeal to Nigerians to please imbibe the spirit of humanitarian.
Some people's school fees is as low as 6,500 per term.
and you're going to change somebody's life.
They emphasized that as Nigeria continues to confront various humanitarian challenges, the unwavering commitment of these awardees will serve as a beacon of hope, inspiring others to take action for the greater good.
He also has given a lot of scholarships, done a lot of empowerment, constructed schools, and also empowered a lot of organizations.
Aside his legislative duties, he has been a humanitarian before even his election as a honorable member.
The event also reinforces the message that building a better Nigeria requires the active involvement of individuals, organizations, and the government alike, working hand in hand to uplift the most vulnerable members of society. In Abuja, Thomas Ugbetere, NTA News.
Well, that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigunloye.